Stop At Willoughby draws a lot of comparisons to the earlier episode, Walking Distance. They're very different by the time you get to the end, but the basic setup is similar, complete with the overworked main character and desire to find an easygoing paradise where someone can get away from the pressures of everyday adult life. This installment was a favorite of a lot of the production team, including producer Buck Houghton and Rod Serling himself. I can see why. It really is a well-conceived and executed story with great performances from the handful of actors that are focused on. Unlike the melancholy but ultimately positive tone of Walking Distance, A Stop at Willoughby gives us a darker angle on a similar story. Garth Williams is a man looking for a break. His high-stakes job at an ad agency comes equipped with a highly volatile and demanding boss, while his home life consists of a spiteful wife who's pushed him down a path he never wanted to travel in the first place. On his way home from work one snowy November evening, he falls asleep on his regular train and awakens in another place, another time. It's July of 1888, and the train has arrived at a stop named Willoughby. It's a picturesque little village where a man can supposedly slow down and live his life full measure. Confused, Williams wakes up. It was just a dream. But this dream repeats several times over the next few days as Willoughby looks more and more attractive to him. With the demands of his job and marriage weighing heavier on him by the moment, Garth increasingly thinks of what it might be like to slow down and retreat to this charming small town to escape the torments of his daily life. This was the second of 3 episodes Robert Parrish directed for the series, and it may be the most lauded by critics and fans of the show. Although One for the Angels is well remembered because of Ed Wynn's performance and the sweet nature of its plot, A Stop at Willoughby is definitely a story closer to the standard mood most Twilight Zone episodes are recollected for. That is, weird, dark, and thought-provoking. Parrish's use of close-ups at the beginning of the show pushed the anxiety element that is essential for our main character to feel. In contrast, when he's wistfully imagining his ideal life in Willoughby, the camera moves in a more delicate manner, as if to suggest he's in the calm, serene environment that he's describing. There's no doubt Serling put a lot of himself into this character. Dealing with ad agencies and sponsorship teams was a consistent part of his job on this show and across his career. It's something he was outspoken about, hating to deal with. Garth's job is shown as a place of relentless onward marching, and his boss encapsulates that attitude.
Push, 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 Williams! Push, 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 Williams! Push, 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 Williams! Get with it, boy! Push, 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 Williams!
We definitely have sympathy for this guy right away, as he's kicked around by his boss and wife. James Daly's acting hits that target, but in contrast to someone like Henry Bemis in Time Enough at Last, Garth Williams isn't afraid to speak up and defend himself. He can clearly state what he wants and how upset he is with his current situation, whether it be articulately or otherwise.
It's push, push, push all the way, all the time, right on down the line.
Fat boy, why don't you shut your mouth?
Any job at all where I could be myself, where I wouldn't have to climb on a stage and go through a masquerade every morning at 9 o'clock and mouth all the dialogue and play the executive. Because I'm not that person, Janie.
While he's not exactly a pushover, Williams does seem hopelessly obligated to his role as an ad executive and husband.
I'm sick, and I'm tired of a husband who lives in a kind of permanent self-pity.
Patricia Donahue plays the role of Garth's wife perfectly. She's condescending, apathetic, and just plain mean. Her performance is the perfect way to show there's no respite for Williams anywhere in his life. The times Garth is transported to Willoughby totally changed the look and tone of the episode. A tranquil mood pervades the air. He's the only passenger on this 1888 train, and his worries seem far away from him.
Willoughby, July, summer. It's 1888, peaceful, restful, where a man can slow down to a walk and live his life full measure.
You can tell right away there's something off about that conductor. I don't know if I would trust that guy like Garth seems to, but that's all part of the surreal nature of this very realistic dream world. Willoughby doesn't exist on any map. In fact, it never did. When Williams finds this out, he sees it as his mind creating a perfect place for him to get away from his troubles. But every time he's about to get off the train and enjoy the village, he wakes up back in the real world. Later, he describes Willoughby to his wife, and you can just see the peace on his face.
I've never seen such serenity. It was the way people must have lived 100 years ago.
It's also great how his wife throws it back in his face right after.
My miserable, tragic error to get married to a man whose big dream in life is to be Huckleberry Finn.
During an especially stressful day at work where he's being pulled in multiple different directions at the same time, Gart starts to lose it. As a last-ditch effort, he calls his wife to try and find some kind of comfort, but she hangs up on him, leaving him all alone. Williams falls asleep once again on his way home, but this time actually gets off the train and steps into Willoughby, intending to stay. In reality, Gart jumped off the moving train and died instantly. He was said to have screamed Willoughby as he leapt to his death. A funeral home company then arrives to pick up his body. The name on the back of the car reads, Willoughby & Son Funeral Home. We see images of the village as Serling's poignant narration ends the episode. This was quite the double twist. Gart's apparent suicide and the name of the funeral home company give it a very dark tinge, but Williams seems happy the last time we see him. Was this a supernatural freeing of his burdened soul, or the tragic death of a man who couldn't live one more day in his unforgiving unhappiness? It's a heavy theme. Suicide is something a lot of us have been affected by one way or another, and while I don't necessarily think it's dangerous to present the ending of this story as a safe release into forever happiness, I do see this more as a tragedy than a victory for Gart Williams. It goes to show you that any one person just willing to listen to someone as depressed as this character was could make all the difference. This is exemplified by his wife abandoning him when Williams is hanging on the edge. It's a sad story, but it made for a great episode. There are nice little touches put in there that I didn't notice on the first viewing, like the band playing Beautiful Dreamer as Gart enters the town, or the mention of a Bradbury account at Williams' job, a nice wink to author Ray Bradbury, whose complicated history with the Twilight Zone is a long story for another time. I also love the shot of Willoughby's grandfather clock swinging into a dissolve of the lantern waving, signaling Williams' demise. I still don't like that conductor. It seems to me he was actively trying to entice Gart into his suicide. Whether it be symbolic or not, that character creeps me out. I'm really interested to hear what you guys think of this episode and how you interpret its ending. Personally, since so many people love comparing it to Walking Distance, I'll say that I like that episode more. It was more interesting to me with better visuals, music, direction, and acting. But A Stop at Willoughby is a high-quality episode, which reminds us that sometimes death can look like a dream in the Twilight Zone.